He is the creator and sustainer of all the worlds, whether those worlds are known or unknown to mankind.
Here we go.
And cats.
Hot takes!
Oh, actually,
That should be your intro.
That's going to be the intro.
That's fabulous.
That's what we get.
Okay.
It's good enough. We'll
OMAM chats!
we'll workshop it.
We will. So we've got Miss Wilce, who's going to give us her hot takes on friendship in Of Mice and Men. What is your hot take?
Oh, I don't know that it's a hot take. I think it's just a take on what I'm seeing with classes. I think a lot of students really get confused about whether or not George and Lenny are actually friends. I read it again and again. They're not actually friends because X, Y, Z. And I think it's a little bit more complex than that. I think we're sort of doing George a discredit and maybe even Lenny a discredit by saying there's no genuine friendship there, right?
Did you read in any of your essays that you got? I had a couple that were like, they've got like a father-son relationship.
Yep.
What do you take on that?
Yeah, it's interesting because I can see where they're coming at and they've got evidence, so I don't mind that. But you do see him taking on responsibility. George takes on responsibility of Lenny, right? He's caring for his hygiene. He's making sure he's remembering all the things he needs. And so he's taking on more than your average friend might as far as the mental load for supporting that person goes. So there's that for sure. But I think it's still more complex than father-son in the sense that, we think about that famous quote, a guy needs somebody. You need somebody. And I was reading recently about Aristotle. Have you heard about this?
Yes, we talked about this really briefly, but
that's right.
Overview, go for it.
So the idea is Aristotle, famous philosopher, put forward the concept in his works of, I'm going to say it wrong, but is it Nicomachean? Have you heard of this? Nicomachean Ethics. And basically he looks at what a human needs to be fulfilled, happy. And one of those things is friendship. He breaks down friendship into 3 key ideas. So you've got the idea that you have a friendship for pleasure, someone that you can do things that you enjoy doing with, socializing, common interests. Maybe you'll play a game together. Maybe you'll go for a walk. It's something that you do where you enjoy each other's company, but maybe you're not very similar in personality. And maybe the person that you seek out to do things that are pleasurable for you aren't necessarily things that speak to your deeper character. So there's that level of friendship. There's a friendship of utility, which is a friendship like a work friend or a friend that's useful for one particular function. Some people would argue that George and Lenny's relationship is a relationship of utility. Lenny needs somebody to get by. George needs somebody to help him access the jobs that he might not get on his own. So you could argue that it's a friendship of utility. But then you see the genuine excitement about this dream. Lenny's excited not just about the rabbits, but I've got you and you've got me, right? He's excited about the connection they share as well, beyond that. And then you've got the friendship of character, which is a character that someone displays that you gravitate towards. So someone is a type of person you don't mind being with, you get joy out of being with that person.
So like Slim, like they're attracted to Slim because he is like, the ideal person, the friendly person on the ranch, the person who accepts everyone but is also good at everything and everyone just is kind of drawn to. I really like that idea. I actually hadn't made that connection. That's good.
And I think also I like how we've got this pre-existing friendship, the social connection between George and Lenny. It's been going since they were young, right? And then we see the blossoming of male friendship when they meet Slim, and you get to see how a friendship begins, because if tragedy weren't to sort of unfold in the plot later on, Slim and George actually were really building the foundations of a good friendship, not just of utility, not just of pleasure, but they were confiding in one another. Slim invites George to share his thoughts in a way that you don't see other farm characters doing. So,
why do you think, sorry, just to interrupt because I do this all the time, but why do you think that they do have that closer connection and that the other, I'm going to say male characters, obviously like women are included, but we're focusing on the
there
workers.
Are only male characters here, right?
Well, you can also have, prostitutes and Curly's wife, who is also lustful and...
But we're being directed towards male connection here.
Yeah, exactly. It's about male loneliness, male relationships. Why are some of them completely unable to access that. You know, we see Carlson's kind of a bit of a bully. We see
Wit's kind of focused on the job or having fun.
Not super involved. Like, but then we see Slim is able to access really good connections, even if it's not, you know, deep friendship like with George, but it's like, you know, loyalty and respect from everybody else. But why, for example, you know, we've got Candy has it a little bit. Curly doesn't seem to have any relationships, not even with the sole woman who is contractually obligated to tolerate him in the text. So why can some of them have friendships and some of them can't?
It boils down to that concept of character, right? It's the kind of person you are. And we know that the hardships of this time period forced people to become maybe versions of themselves that they wouldn't necessarily be if they weren't itinerant, if they weren't put in a situation where they were in excessive hardship. And so some people go over to the side of functionality instead of maybe seeking connection. There is a loneliness and an isolation there. They're more seeking friendships of pleasure, maybe. They're going to go out to the bar together, they're going to play the ring.
Immediate.
Yeah, short-term, easy, accessible sort of connections that don't run deeper because people are moving often. There's not an opportunity to form deeper connections. Someone like Slim's been at the farm a long time. He's probably had the skills to develop connections quickly, and he's the constant. So I kind of see Slim as being someone that's looking for character as well as maybe looking for pleasure with his friendships.
Well, it's interesting how the context, so the Great Depression, being in America, being post-World War I, all of that feeds into Steinbeck's writing. And that, I think, would be a terrific topic for another hot take.
Hot
Thanks, Miss Wilce.
Thank you.